Welcome to the Songwriter Connection, the podcast that delves deep into the art and heart of songwriting. Each week, we gather around the dining room table to uncover the stories behind the songs. We invite you to join us on a journey to the creative minds of the songwriters who shape the melodies of our lives. From Nashville, Tennessee, here's your host, Dave Lenahan.
Well, I've said many times about the magical music town of Nashville, Tennessee. There is so much talent in this town that it's absolutely mind-boggling, and more coming in every single day. Just about every place you go to hear a writer's round or a band, if you're downtown, you're going to hear some of the best musicians and songwriters in the world. I'm convinced, because I've been at other places, and every now and then I'll run into somebody that I'm like, wow. This guy, this gal needs to be heard. And those are the kind of people I like to feature on this podcast, with an occasional big-time writer as well. But this guy came into town about 4 years ago, and the first time I heard him play was at a private party. And I remember they had a little a little backyard stage. That's what happens here in Nashville. And this guy got up on stage, he started singing. I'm like, oh my God, he's incredible. And that's where I met him. And since then, we've become really good friends, and we've written some cool songs together. I want you all to meet, make acquaintance, a connection this morning with Cheyne Stilwell. Hi, Cheyne. How are you?
Doing great, man. How you doing, Dave?
I'm doing really well. Let's start with your name, Cheyne. Cheyne.
Cheyne, actually.
N-E, okay.
Yeah, so I know it's going to get into where's the spelling or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so
unique.
it is unique. So my parents obviously were creative too. But they claim they found it in a name book when I was born when I was born, and but I did research, and it's like Old French. Means, it means from the oak grove.
From the oak grove.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of interesting. We can talk about this a little bit later if
no, I want to hear it.
But
come on.
Yeah. So that's actually kind of inspired me to get a Substack started that I call Musings from the Oak Grove. I'm just starting out with that, but
like podcast kind of thing.
It can. Yeah, I was thinking about including some podcast stuff. Just kind of based on some conversations you and I have had.
Substack,
thinking about doing something.
Educate me. I'm not really familiar with.
Substack. A lot of people started using Substack for like newsletters and things like that.
Oh, okay.
There are some musical artists and songwriters that have started Substacks as well. And so I was looking at that, and I was like, I think I might want to do that. So you can add things, but you can add podcast material to that. You can
really,
audio or video.
Mm-hmm.
You can even put. I'm looking at this as well. You can put stuff behind if you want to do a paywall for exclusive content type of thing. So,
okay.
So
a lot of things that independent artists are doing.
Yeah. So,
right now.
but all that to say, it's like that's where the spelling comes from, and.
I gotcha.
I've gone back and forth on whether I should get a stage, some kind of stage name that's easier to spell for people. No. And then somebody told me, no, stick with it, man.
I agree.
Stick with it. It looks good on a business card, and it just stands out.
And it stands out. It definitely does. Mm-hmm. And you are so true to what you do and authentic that I think, changing your name would be the wrong move. Cheyne Stilwell with one L in the middle.
Appreciate that vote. We're sticking to it.
Stick to it.
Stillwell with one L.
With one L.
Yeah, that's an interesting story too, because growing up, I learned that one of my 12 aunts and uncles. That was the size family my dad was born out of. Mm-hmm. One of them insisted on spelling with two L's. I could never figure that out, but. I don't know. Over time, I'm like, maybe they just didn't feel like dealing with all the spelling corrections and stuff. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So there you go. Stands out. So I'm sticking. So
there you go.
So thanks for that vote of confidence. I'm sticking to it.
Just curious, nationality of that.
What's that?
The nationality, Stuart.
It's English.
English. Oh,
yes.
English. Okay. Very
yes.
Good. Yeah.
It's
good.
chop. Mm-hmm.
So tell me did you come from a musical family? When did you pick up the guitar? How did you learn to sing? When did you figure?
All the things. All right. Well, let's see. Well, the way I describe that is, I was plunking out music, I guess, since I was like knee high to a grasshopper kind of thing. My mom told me, she told me, when I was older, that first time she saw me do anything was I hopped up on the piano bench of an old upright that we used to have. It was like one of those old player piano types.
Yeah.
And was plunking out Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star at like 3 years old.
Oh, my.
So that was piano. I mean, I took a few years of that. Just something with the hand-eye coordination was kind of odd. But then guitar, I started picking that up at 9, and my using my mom's old, like, archtop Gibson that she had.
Oh,
and,
what a beautiful guitar!
And Dad, we still have that one.
You do?
Yeah. We got a nice case and storage and all that stuff. And then Dad, I mean, he, they were both musical. I mean, Dad, and he did back when he served. In the military, he did some USO shows.
Did he? Okay.
They tried to get him to extend his military tour, partly because of that.
Because he could sing and entertain.
Right. It's like, can you say? Yeah, exactly. So I come by it honest. Dad taught me first 3 chords and infused a lot of truth in me growing up.
So 3 chords and a truth.
So, yeah.
Right? That's all you need, right?
Yeah, there you go. So, and I just kind of went from there, and and it's Dad's got musical brothers and sisters too. So over the years we do jams at family reunions and stuff.
That's great.
So,
Always did that.
Yeah.
Huh? When did you first start writing?
Writing, actually, when I was a kid, I mean, I was just messing around. I didn't think to call it songwriting at that point, but I was just, I just come up with like these little like 4 or 5 line things, and then just incidentally, from a recording standpoint, I remember first time I laid anything down there, I was like 6 years old, and this was just in the living room.
Wow.
Dad was wanting to play Don Williams' old tune, "Turn Down the Light, Love Me Tonight."
Oh, great song.
And so he was singing it to Mom. He's like, "Why don't you get up here and sing this with me, son?" And so Mom pulled out one of those old like 70s style like little tape, cassette tape recorders.
Yeah, I remember those
with that
boxes.
pull-out handle and
right,
sure. That whole thing.
Uh-huh.
So that was we'll call that my first, I don't know,
recording?
live recording or whatever.
And did you have that deep voice like you got right now? Because
no.
You got that Don Williams kind of voice.
Yeah. So that developed over time.
Wow.
Yeah. So
you do some radio with that voice?
I've done some narration. I did a couple narration projects. I've narrated an audiobook for a pastor based out of Ohio.
Good. Yeah.
I am looking, and I do have a few episodes of a podcast. Although I think I'm, with the nature of that podcast, I probably, just incidentally, probably will be maybe shifting the trajectory of that, shifting the focus of that, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, I've done a bit of that. And I'll just make a shameless plug. I'm always open to considering jobs if somebody wants to pull me in for that.
Yeah.
And also vocal session work. I've actually helped some people in town with
you've been doing
demos and stuff like that.
Yeah, mm-hmm. And that's good. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
The first time, and we kind of mapped out what we wanted to do, but I decided I want to hear "Excuse Me While I Cry" because that was the first song I ever heard you perform, and the emotion that you put into this song. Mm. And I really want folks, again, I want to say this is a guy you need to hear. You have to listen to this guy. You have to remember Cheyne Stilwell. This song absolutely blew me away. Now, before we do it, live around the dining room table today, which I thank you for coming in to do that. Tell me about the writing of that song. There's a story, who you co-wrote it with. Tell me everything.
Yeah. All right. Well, this was actually one of the first co-writes I did in Nashville.
Here in Nashville, okay.
Yeah. So this was with a friend of mine named Pamela Boykin.
Okay.
She's met her at like some kind of literary group down in Franklin.
Gotcha.
And she mentioned that she had these lyrics, but she wasn't quite sure what melody to lay down. That's another thing I love about writing with you. You always come prepared. You've got a melody or something, and so you had this challenge. You need to put this to a melody. Well, this was one of those where we got into the session, and she put these lyrics in front of me, and I honestly actually didn't have a particular one. So I'm like sitting with this. I'm like, or that not out of the ones I had. And so I was sitting here. It's like, okay, well, let's try something here. So this melody just kind of, dropped out of, we'll call it dropped out of heaven. I like to call it sometimes.
Yep.
And just, kind of hone that, the process obviously. And so that's what came out with this song. As far as like the inspiration of the lyrics, Pamela was sharing with me one day that, back when she was working at a call center, there was a particularly stressful day with some of the customers that they'd been talking with, and so she and a coworker of hers were there in the break room around the cooler, talking, sharing their battle stories, and then somebody just said, "Oh, excuse me while I cry," and then that just it just kind of got the ball rolling. I mean, when she told me that story, it reminded me of a song like U2's "Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For."
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I remember hearing the story about that one, and that title was inspired by them. One of the band members looking for a lost contact lens. So I'm like, knew that. So I had context to say the titles can come from anywhere. Right, and
be careful when you're having conversations with folks or hearing other conversations. There are gems in there, and I love finding songs out of things like that people say. I'm like, whoa, that's an idea for a song. Put that in your hook book.
That's right, exactly.
So I wanted to ask you, going back to this. So did you have to adapt the lyrics then a little bit here and there?
There was some some tweaking because because though she's a very prolific lyricist, and and I would recommend her to anybody in term that's looking to pair up with a lyricist. Lyricists, I mean, depending on who it is, they may not necessarily know like say the meter, the cadence flow, those kinds of things.
Right,
and so when you get that, and so as you've seen, when you get that pairing between between somebody who's really got a sense of like rhythm and of course the melody and where the melody needs to go, as well as structure, right? Then that combination, I mean, it's like Reese's, like chocolate and peanut butter, right? So there was some nip and tuck in there, and I did help her with that. It's like that whole thing of, okay, well, I know what you're going for here. It feels like it's a few too many syllables, so why don't we shorten that up just a little bit?
Gotcha.
And then just looking for some ways to either beat a line, right, or like as in, is there a better way to write that line?
Can we do better with this?
Yeah, word choices, that kind of thing. So
all part of the process.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, I love mydictionary.com. I love my thesaurus.com and Rhyme Brain. Although somebody turned me on to Rhyme Zone recently. So I'm very impressed whenever I pair up with somebody. It's just they're able to rattle off the rhymes like that. I'm like, yeah, dude, I just need a page. I'm sorry.
I need a surprising rhyme. I like rhymes that just you would never think. The most surprising rhyme I could come up with that still advances this story.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Well, and that's and it just incidentally with those. I mean, it's like you'll be talking, right? And you'll be in a conversation. And then all of a sudden, it just comes out, and you weren't even thinking about it. It just
Did you
happens.
know what you just said there?
Right.
Go back.
Like, grab that. Right? Get your voice memo out.
Exactly.
Right? So, yes.
Absolutely. Love it. I love it. So let's hear this. This is Excuse Me While I Cry. And folks, you're going to get a taste of this wonderful voice and this amazing person, Cheyne Stilwell, our guest, on the Songwriter Connection podcast.
All right. Here's my little pitch pipe minute here. Okay, hold on a second. You know how it is. If I don't care, somebody else is going to. All right. All right. Girl, you know I've been strong since we've been together. But there's something going on. I feel a change in the weather. Seeing you here tonight, your hair hair falls around your face. Oh, the feeling is so right. There's a magic taking place. Every time I see you, baby, I get a lump in my throat. Girl, what you do to me, it's a love overflow. So excuse me while I cry. I can't keep these fears from falling. But right now, I feel like I could die. 'Cause baby, I just found heaven. So excuse me while I cry. Never ever has a woman made my heart race like you do. Well, honey, you're my weakness. I can't get enough of you. Oh, how my life's turned around from the moment I rise, babe. I feel 10 feet off the ground. You're the best high I can get. Every time I see you, baby, I get a lump in my throat. Girl, what you do to me, it's a love overflow. So excuse me while I cry. I can't keep these tears from falling. But right now, I feel like I could die. 'Cause baby, I just found heaven. So excuse me while I cry. Everything I've ever wanted is right here in front of me, and I can see I'm so blessed. I get excited, girl, what you do to me, you do to me, yeah. So excuse me while I cry. I can't keep these tears from falling. Right now, I feel like I could die. 'Cause baby, I just found heaven. So excuse me while I cry. Baby, I just found heaven. So excuse me while I cry.
Holy smokes. Absolutely love it. Cheyne Stilwell, like I say, deserves to be heard. That song, just back it up and listen to it again. and again and again. This thing I like about a podcast.
Right.
You can do that. We talk about different things in constructing a song. And one of the things about that song that really sticks out to me is your use of a pre-chorus. And in that song, you've got two distinctly different pre-choruses. And I guess you could call them a bridge. Some people may. But it gives us a little space to jump off to make it's different from the verse melody, and it gives us that little, and it leads right into you jumping up high into that chorus. So tell me about that process and how you saw that, and how you made that work.
So when I was just looking through this, it just naturally seemed to come out that there needed to be, like that for the bridge. It just felt like that's where it needed to be. Yeah. Where you heard it. Cause I mean, it's, cause over the years, I've realized, when I've kind of learned, about the sweet spot for a song needing to be a certain length. I mean, I think I've told you before. I got a bunch of church music background, right? Yeah,
and we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, and we will. But what I was going to say with that was sometimes in those settings, in certain settings, those songs can carry out for like 9 or 10 minutes. It ain't no way that's going to work on the radio, right? No. So anyway, back to this. It's just when I was looking at this, that every time I see you, baby, I get a lump in my throat. That just naturally seemed to jump out at me as, okay, that's a good place for a bridge, because there was a lot of lyrics, right? And as far as the mechanics of it, just for me, when I'm thinking about where certain melodies are going to be, I mean, it just always feels natural to me that for a bridge, you got to set it up, and a lot of times just different chord progression, right? Yeah. But then melody wise, just building in space to tell the story, and then get to that last line leading into the chorus, and that's where the launching point's got to be. Yeah, it's got to be there, right? That
last line has got to lead right into the chorus.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then down, you were talking about the bridge, right? Everything I've ever wanted, it's right there in front of me. And I can see, I'm so blessed. I get excited, girl. What you do to me, you do to me. Here again. It's the bridge. This is a really good question that you're asking me. It's because it got me thinking a little bit. But yeah, here again, different chords, right? Let the bridge stand out on its own. And I've heard other songs where you can keep that general chord pattern going
from the
pre, as long as you got some combination that allows the bridge to be unique from the rest of it. Gotcha. Right? So
makes sense. But yeah, so like in this particular song, if you're confused, and sometimes that is, people ask me, "How you write a bridge?" Well, in the beginning, you have the verse, and then you did what I would call a pre-chorus.
Right.
Okay. And then you did the chorus with soars. And then next time you come to that pre-chorus, it's more of a bridge, isn't it? And you changed it a little bit.
It's a little bit, it's a little bit different. So the first time in the bridge, I just had to stop, guitar-wise, to go ahead and give a solid place for that chorus to stand out very first time around.
Yeah.
And then second time through that, through that is basically the pre. I was looking at it as the pre again, but I do play that a little differently, just to kind of just instead of just a stop, it's just connecting and then coming back into just kind of we're coming back to the chorus again here, right? And just a little bit of vocal variation in the melody too, just to kind of help it stand out. That's kind of what. That was my thought process.
Well, and it's a great example of it, and that's why I wanted to point it out. And when you're listening to folks, when you're listening to these songs, try to, if you're not familiar, listen. Does this song have a pre? Not every song has a pre-chorus.
Right, that's true.
Not every song has a bridge.
That's right.
So what's the termination? Why are you ready? Some folks just go, I got to have a bridge. What do you have to?
Right.
I just got to have a pre.
Not necessarily.
This song definitely, so like I've seen some people are very formulaic, if that's the word. They'll write into your blank document, if you use Google Docs or whatever.
Right.
And they'll go V1, pre, chorus, V2, pre, chorus, bridge, chorus. And I'm like, how do you know that's what it's going to need?
Right. Well, that's a good point.
Right?
I've even seen some people with got pre-done templates.
Templates.
that are like that.
Yeah.
Right. I have I guess what you call it, a certain value in respect and admiration for those templates. But to your point, sometimes I'll go into a write and if I didn't ask before and just hit them with a template, I've had that kind of thing, and somebody's like, well, are we really gonna, to your point, are we really gonna do that? And I'm like, not necessarily. We don't, right?
Adapt.
So then there's that thing of, maybe with certain rights and certain folks that are writing together, maybe it is just better to just go from a blank doc, clean slate, and just see what happens.
See what happens.
That's a really fair point. The thing I see, about the, for me, the reason I kind of liked the whole template thing was because I'm a structure. I like structure.
That's good.
Well,
however it works for you. I'm not saying it's wrong.
Oh yeah, for
whatever
sure.
works for you.
But then the flip side of that is the flexibility is building into the co-write process or having it built into the co-write process, the flexibility to not be like stuck to a template.
Gotcha.
And be, right. So I've developed that kind of flexibility just in the couple of years that I've been out here writing with folks like you and other people. Kind of like get a sense of, all right, am I going to constrict them if I come up with some like overly crafted template or whatever?
But you know what you do that I love, and I want to start adopting this for my own. You put in the doc, you will number the lines.
Oh yeah,
and I like that because when you're referring back to, can we do better with this line? What line are you talking about? Oh, I'm talking about line 10 there.
Exactly.
Check that out.
Yeah.
And that's kind of cool to help you have that reference.
For real. I was so excited when I first discovered that little feature, because apparently, it's used for manuscript editing as well. It's like if you gotta talk to the author about, all right, on this page, on this line, then that's where that comes in, right? Yeah. So then I saw the feature and so I started using it. I was like, dude, this just helps out so much. I can just say, okay, go to 36. 36, line 36 is where I said that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right, that kind of thing. Yes.
So there's that. And just to wrap up what we're saying about bridges and pre-choruses.
Yeah.
The most brilliant thing I ever heard about whether your song needs a bridge came from my mentor, Mark Allen Barnett, who's sometimes been a host on this show. Before that, actually in a writing session down on Music Row, he said, well, I determine whether it needs a bridge. Is there any water left to cross? And I go, oh, well, that's deep. Think about that. But Mark summed it up this way. And I always say this in a session if people are confused. Do we need a bridge? Here's the answer. It's like, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this is my closing arguments. In conclusion, you know what I mean?
Right.
And if there isn't that in your song, if you've already taken care of all that, then maybe you don't need one.
I would agree with that.
Isn't it cool? And you think about, here's the other thing to think about. You can break a song into 3 different melodies, really. Like in the song we just heard, Cry, there's the verse melody, there's the pre and bridge melody, and there is the chorus melody. So something to think about. Hopefully that helps you in your songwriting. We're going to take a little break. I want at least 3 more songs from you. Cheyne Stilwell is our guest on the Songwriter Connection.
Cool.
You're listening to the Songwriter Connection with Dave Linehan. Find us on Facebook and YouTube at the Songwriter Connection Podcast. And find Dave at thedaveconnection.com. Now back to the show with your host, Dave Linehan.
Hey, I just found out again we were nominated for Podcast of the Year, 2025 Elite Music Awards. Thank you for that. We do appreciate that. And by the way, if you are listening on YouTube, please click like and subscribe because it really does help. Even though we're not this video podcast, but we'd love to have you. By the way, the interview we did with Martin, he recorded it. I think we're going to have that on YouTube. If it isn't already out there, we may have some video of the dining room and me and Martin. So anyway, something to, if you haven't seen yet or heard that episode, it's really a special one because we talk a lot about AI and what's it doing in the songwriter rooms today. Is it cheating? It's not. Where do you draw the line? If you missed that one, it's a very important podcast. And we've got one coming up this month with Trey Ackerman, who comes from not only the music business, but also the computer business. So he's got a very interesting take, and we're going to pick his brain here in a couple of weeks on Songwriter Connection. By the way, we do publish each and every Wednesday, 2:00 in the morning Central Time here in the United States. And every morning we hope that you just get up with a cup of coffee and make a new connection. No matter where the morning is for you, where you're at, we hope that you'll do that. And I hope your coffee's great, right? So every Wednesday. And there's also Songwriter Connection, The Songs, which is a Spotify playlist. And every Wednesday I put on a couple of new songs there from the people that we have on the show. So if you'd like to hear more of Cheyne, look for it. It's out there today. Cheyne Stilwell is my guest. Big voice, great songwriter. You've been in town about 4 years?
Yeah, 4 years as of last week, actually.
Yeah, don't listen about that 10-year stuff because you're doing really well.
I'm not giving any credence to it.
Yeah.
I mean, Scott Berry, who I think has been on this podcast before,
many times.
He and I were having a conversation about that too.
Yeah,
and it's like, nah.
Hey, it's going to happen when it happens. Could be 20, could be 10, could be 5.
Right.
But don't worry about it. Just do you, be you, and keep writing. You got a lot of people want to write with you.
Yeah, I've been
Very busy schedule.
Yeah, well, yeah, busy schedule, and I've been amazed at just the kind of just the kind of invitations I get for that. So yeah, I was excited when we connected at that party and started writing. And I've done some writing with the people who hosted that party, Ridge and Sherry. Ridge
You're
Banks
wonderful.
and
Both
Sherry
have been on
Carmody.
this podcast.
Yes.
Just got back from a European tour.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Kari Phillips, who you and I have both written with, Lacey Carpenter, who's also been on this podcast, right? And actually, I've got one scheduled this week with a lady I learned about by the name of Kelly Johnson. I don't know if you've met her or not.
I haven't.
But apparently she's written with Scott Barrier. She's written with Nancy Decant, who I know you've had on this podcast as well.
Great people.
Yeah. So
can't go wrong.
And yeah, I mean her, and I've heard that her, just from what I've seen, I mean, it's just so, it just I don't know, it just jazzes me so much. And like I said, I'm just completely amazed and by the kind of invites I've been getting to write. Yeah, in fact, I'm trying to nail something down. I'm trying to nail something down with a guy by the name of Joe West now, who.
Joe.
Yeah.
I'm going to have him on this podcast.
Yeah. Joe. Oh my gosh, Joe. Man,
he's so busy playing at the airport.
Plays at the airport. So anybody listening, if you come through the Nashville airport, you might catch Joe West playing,
and you'll remember if you see him because he's that good.
Absolutely. So yeah, I just So it's just been exciting and just fun. I kind of look at it as, I hope I'm not going to throw anybody off here, but I kind of look at it as kind of my church time.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because that was going to be my next place to go.
Yeah.
You did a lot of, playing in church, which a lot of our people on this podcast have. Yeah. Tell me about that experience.
Okay. Yeah.
I did that too. Yeah.
Oh, did you? Okay. Yeah. So, for, on a very regular basis for a period of about 30 years.
Really?
Yeah.
But you're only 31. So how did you do that?
I'll run with that. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. That's how busy I've been. But yeah, so I was, I wrote some songs. I wrote some songs for church as well. And, and when we go back, and like some of it gets used at the places where we used to go in North Carolina. People tell me that, hey, we just played that one song of yours that you did. It's not on the list today. But anyway, 30 years of that. And when we moved here, it was just kind of interesting. It didn't sink in with me that I was going from the small pond to the big ocean, right? And the place where we felt to plug in. I mean, oh my gosh, it's just replete with not just musical talent but songwriting talent as well. In fact, I mean, we partly, part of what led to us moving here was connecting with some folks online during the lockdowns. Online community when people all of a sudden started discovering like Zoom, right?
Yes, right.
But it was kind of interesting. It's like over that 3-year period, moving to the big ocean, and nothing against the fellowship. It's just, you go from a time of like being up and playing almost every Sunday to then, well, we're good. We don't really need you right now. So it was like, so we were kind of both going through this time. All right, what's going on here? And then a couple of years ago, because we had this conversation a few weeks back. So I'll try to expound on that.
Sure.
I honestly wasn't thinking like open mics and writers rounds at the time. Mm-hmm. I just wasn't. And then one day I was on a phone conversation with a friend up in Chicago who was talking about bringing some friends down to do something in Nashville. And I said, well, if you do that, let me know. And hey, maybe I'll even sign up for an open mic, but you all better show up because I want a cheering section. And then I got off the phone with them, and and you'd appreciate this, and I'm sure others who listen to this would. I hear that voice go, yeah, it would be fun, wouldn't it, Cheyne? And I said, oh yeah, it would. That was like the whole point. And they said,
man.
And you don't have to wait for them to come down. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. So, it's amazing how that voice helps you to do the math.
Boy, that leads right into the song we were going to do last, but I'm thinking about moving it out.
Well,
it's your current
no,
single.
we'll keep it. We'll keep it as a
where
closer.
It is?
Well,
okay.
Yeah, I'd say we'll keep it as a closer because
that is your signature closure song.
It is, yeah. So,
okay. But the song I want you to talk about and do is Cherubim, and that's
where I was going to go.
Okay, now that's streaming everywhere right now.
Yeah, that's out on all platforms. I've got what I call the front porch picking version, which is it's basically guitar vocal. But I have been talking with various people about trying to get a fully tracked version of that because oh my gosh, do I want to get that tracked?
Oh man,
so I've been talking with some there. And all these different folks. I mean, there's a guy named Don DeMumrum lives in Brentwood. Jimmy Copen's there at the Commodore.
Jimmy's great,
right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So plug for you, Jimmy, for your recording stuff.
We love you, Jimmy.
And just even a guy in the UK. But anyway, yes, Cherubim, and that's and that song just that kind of developed over time. But that's actually a solo write. That one
is it really? Okay.
Yeah, and it gives
the concept is
it kind of gives some background into just. Not just my church upbringing, but also what I'll call it like a little bit of a rethinking journey on some things, like things that you had things that you had kind of come along and believed, and then you go and you relook at some of those things, and It's like, well, was what I believe in really the right? Was that really right, or should I allow some space to get a different perspective on that kind of thing? And so that's kind of what was behind the story behind Cherubim. It's like, I don't want to get, I don't want to steal too much thunder from the song.
True. But maybe you can just tell us what a cherubim is.
Okay, so cherubim is plural for cherub, which is a type of angel. Now, think a lot of people when they think angels, they think like these big 8-9 foot,
with wings
characters, with wings.
Yeah.
And as I understand it, cherubs are not like that. They're more like they look like more like the short, maybe kind of plump. And somebody can correct me on this if my description is not accurate. But I kind of think of them as like the little party guys. They look like they could have fun, but they do. But apparently they do carry some power. And the point and the whole thing with the cherubim is that there are two of them that. They're covering the what's called the mercy seat, right? So just kind of going into scripture, guys, just a little bit. The Ark of the Covenant, right? And these wings cover the mercy seat. Well, the mercy seat is considered where God sits, right? And so the story with that is God, I came to this place where I was starting. What's the way to say this? That instead of God being mad at me all the time, he's actually not that. I looked at despite the way things may look in the Old Testament. I mean, because I came to a point where if I believe that God is love, and if love is all these different things in that famous love chapter that we all hear at wedding ceremonies, right? Yeah. Then you got to apply that lens whenever you're reading anything in Scripture, and so it's like this whole thing of he's not keeping any wrongs. He's not keeping a record. He's not notching a belt every time about every wrong you've done, and he's not some divine bean counter, right?
Divine bean counter,
right? It's like keeping track of every little thing.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's just the way it reads in the New Testament of Scripture. That's not how it is. And so, and without going too far down a trail, I mean, I've discovered there is a massive groundswell of people who are kind of coming to this same place. And who knows, we may even see a movement within the music space that might help that where those, that might help to, what's the word? Might help to connect with that groundswell of people. Wow. So I wrote this song and I shared it with some of those folks. And there was one guy, he's got an international speaking platform, and he told me, Cheyne, this needs to go out all around the world. So I mean, it took a while. The song's over 2 years old, and I was just in a process where I was thinking, oh, no, it's got to be tracked. It's got to be tracked. And then Katrina told me that
Your wife?
my wife,
Your
yes,
wife?
my wife,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Katrina said, well, you know that Oliver Anthony guy.
Remember him?
Yeah, I know,
Out in the
right?
field and
Richmond, north of Richmond. If you
Yeah.
if you haven't looked that up, and but she told me the story with him. I was like, he just went out back, recorded it, and he's got streams in like the hundreds of millions.
It does.
Off of that song, and so I'm like,
this deserves.
all right,
a
that
say.
just took away the excuse for like. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do want a fully track. We talked about that, but it was like, just get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Just get the ball rolling. Don't worry about what anybody says, and put it out there.
Well, Shane, we're heard all over the world. Let's put it out there right now.
Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely.
We've got listeners in, I can't
Yeah,
even say
sounds
how many
good.
countries anymore. I used to keep track of it, but I don't even anymore.
No.
But we're everywhere.
No, it's yeah, exactly. All right. In the back of a little white chapel when I was 6 years old, religion peddling fire insurance with a pitch that gripped my soul. It scared the hell right out of me, made me afraid to die. All my life thinking the man above was ready with a lightning strike. Then I learned he's a good daddy, he ain't chalking up no wrongs. So I told religion, get on, oh, 'cause I'm in between the cherubim, sitting in the round, picking and gritting, plug in the vine, just mainlining. He's lighted up in me when I'm partying with him, in between the cherubim. His cup's intoxicating, the system's been holding back. It never said that living water could ever have this effect. Smoother than Tennessee whiskey, more hug than Elijah Rye. It comes from the shelf up high. Talk about sweet by and by. Never thought I'd be toasted at only 9 a.m., but it's here for anyone looking. Yeah, I'm in between the cherubim, sitting in the round, picking and gritting, plug in the vine, just mainlining. He's lighted up in me when I'm partying with him, in between the cherubim. In him I'm living, now and forevermore. In him I'm moving, he opens every door. In him I'm reigning, I am a king and priest. Oh, when he saved me down on that mercy seat. Yeah, I'm in between the cherubim, sitting in the round, picking and gritting, plug in the vine, just mainlining. He's lighted up in me when I'm partying with him. He's lighted up in me when I'm partying with him, in between the cherubim. There's no high like the Most High. Hey now, there's no high like the Most High.
One guitar, one voice, one mic. It's Cheyne Stilwell. That is an amazing song. I think that could be on the CCM charts right now. Absolutely, kind of a gospel Christian, kind of a rocker. So
I might have to email them then.
You should. Yes, you should. So I want to hear two more songs before we wrap this up. We've talked about your background and all these things, some important things, and I thank you again. But you helped me write a song. When I go back home, and I come from Ohio, Northeast Ohio, and that's where I grew up. I did some radio there, and then moved to Cincinnati where I did lots more. But I find it harder and harder to go back home. You always heard you can't ever go back home,
right?
And I really believe that because it changes so much.
Yes.
And I find myself going home and I find it a depressing thing because I lost some friends, a parent. And the town has changed beyond belief, as every town does. Nashville, I've been here just since 2013. Everything has changed. When I go back home, it's not the same anymore. And it's just really weird. And I remember you helping me with this next song, and Kari as well, Kari Phillips, called My Hometown Left Me.
Yep.
And I wondered if you could play that for us because I just love this song and everything it says. And I wonder if folks have the same experience when they go home. Do you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think about like, we were talking about where I was born and that kind of thing. And so things have really changed in that little place called Richlands. Used to be, coal mines were back there. They were booming at the time, right? And a lot of stuff is shut down, right? And same thing with different places where I moved to growing up. Just how much things have changed. Yeah, I mean, and you made
where
the
I
point
came
about,
from. They're calling them Rust Belt because all these factories closed and
for real. Yeah, for real.
Steel's gone. And,
you were talking about Nashville. I was just talking with somebody last night about how they said that they used to write with all these people, and then like a bunch of used to write with all these people, and then just those folks have they've transitioned. We have things in life that happen, right?
Yeah.
But then just how much the town itself has changed, right? We see this gentrification that we weren't expecting, all that kind of thing. I am glad for places like the Bluebird that just kind of stuck to their guns.
But you've been playing the Bluebird, and that's great. Congratulations on that.
Oh, thank you for that, and as have you. I came in here and saw some of that too. So I'll be playing the Bluebird again coming up in January. In fact,
good, awesome.
But let's go ahead and get to we'll go ahead and get to the
Hometown Left Me.
Yeah, man.
Cheyne Stilwell, our guest. Songwriter Connection.
Yep. Haven't seen that city limit sign since I was a kid. Lavick Field was just a farm where the family lived. Now it's subdivided, vinyl-sided, mini mall and a dollar store. Rows of look-alike houses with no room for any more. That overgrown parking lot was my stomping grounds. Used to be a red barn, when did they tear it down? Was the perfect place to hang out every Friday night. I got my first kiss underneath their neon light. I know nothing in this world remains the same. I can't believe how fast it's all changed. It once held all my dreams. Now there's only memories, pages and history of what it used to be since my hometown left me. That was a gravel road till they paved it through. When the Super Walmart came in the summer of '92. Closed down the Elkhart General Store, sad to see it boarded up. Some might call it progress, but it wiped out all I was. No, nothing in this world remains the same. I can't believe how fast it's all changed. It once held all my dreams. Now there's only memories, pages in history of what it used to be since my hometown left me. Thank you for the ride, my friend. Do I tip you on the end? It's been a 5-star journey through a time I can't get back. I know nothing in this world remains the same. I can't believe how fast it's all changed. It once held all my dreams. Now there's only memories, pages in history of what it used to be. Pages in history of what it used to be since my hometown left me.
Amazing voice of Cheyne Stilwell on the Songwriter Connection podcast. Songwriters, there's a technique in that song that I want to point out, and I call it drawing the curtain. Think about who you are singing to. Now, is it a person? Is it a place? Is it an inanimate object? Is it a lover? Is it a parent? Is it a brother? A sister? Well, we don't let you know who we're singing to on that song until you reach the bridge. And hopefully it's surprising to you that we're singing it really to an Uber driver. And we're saying, hey, thank you for the ride. Do I tip you on the app? Which it's a pretty neat technique. So maybe think about that in your next writing session. Drawing back the curtain is what I call it, Don't look behind that curtain, right? So anyway, just about the technique. Now, you are known for a song that you end about every show. And by the way, folks, if you come into town and you want to check out some of the songwriter rounds, here are the best places to go. You got the Commodore Grill, you got the local, you got a place called the Maxwell House, and there are many others around town. But look him up, and if you see Cheyne Stilwell as one of the performers, you make sure you get there and you watch this guy. And he always is going to end with this song right here that you wrote with our good friend Lacey Carpenter.
Yes.
And tell us quickly about it and take it out. Take us out with that.
All right. Yeah. Well, this is one of those true what you call write the room kind of songs.
Write the room.
Yeah. So I mean, it was very first time we were getting together to write, and we were just rapping, just talking back and forth. It's kind of sharing some stories, and and I'll try to represent this best I can, Lacey. But she was telling me about a time when she was out playing, and there were a couple of characters that rolled into the Commodore, right? Mm-hmm. And apparently they'd had one too many PBRs, and they started heckling. I'm like, and she was like, she had never been heckled before, and you and I know Lacey, and it's like.
No.
Why?
Yeah. I mean,
right.
He's so talented.
So it just really, so it really, kind of affected her. And she was in afterwards, she was in a conversation with the late Donnie Winters, for many years a fixture in this community, right?
Yep.
In the songwriting community specifically. And he just told her, the safe for work version, don't worry about it. There were some other choice words. I won't use those here, but
it's going to happen.
But yeah, it's gonna, that kind of thing's going to happen. Just let it roll and move on. And and actually, and there are a few other stories wrapped up into this too. Something behind what ultimately got my wife Katrina and I's attention to make this move. To move to Nashville. Mm-hmm. And we were in Franklin one night. We had just come back.
Tennessee.
Yeah, Franklin, Tennessee, just a little bit south of here. And we had just we had just wrapped up being part of, just going to an EP recording night down in nearby Thompson Station, and so. But this was right as the lockdowns were being lifted, and so we were going to try to have dinner with somebody over at the Puckett's, a very popular chain of restaurants here.
Yes,
right.
And also have great music there.
Yeah, great music as well. Yeah, that's right. And Lacey's played there before too, as well as I'm sure some other folks that have been on here. And
I have. I loved it.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I want to get over there sometime.
Yeah, we should do that.
But all right, I'm going to try. But point being, so back to the story. So we were like, friend, one of our friends, they just re-got COVID, and they were like, no, we can't do it. And so we were there, and we're like, you know what, we're going to go anyway. We're just going to go ahead and Puckett's. Not realizing that at that point, it was kind of like an open table thing. You had to reserve seats, and I was like, whatever, let's just go. So we get there. We see this one open four-topper, and we ask the host about it. And the host is like, well, that one's kind of reserved, but if you come back in about 45 minutes, and this was kind of getting late. So we were just about to head out the door. This couple behind us, no lie, I mean, you can't make this stuff up. This couple up behind us heard us talking. We were about to head out the door to go down the streets to eat somewhere else, and it was a married couple. The wife said, I don't normally do this, but the folks that we were supposed to eat with tonight, they just canceled on us. Would you like to have dinner with us?
That's the community we live in. That's
I know,
Nashville.
right?
Yeah.
I know. And so it was just this thing. And so we sat with them, had a great conversation with them, and of course a great meal. And we said our good nights and everything. And as we were pulling the car out of the parking deck there in Franklin to head back to the hotel, my wife just all of a sudden turns to me and she's like, "Come to the table." And I was like, "Huh?" She's like, "Come to the table." And she reminded me of the Tennessee Visitor Guide that year, because we came down for a couple of days just to kind of like check things out. And on the cover was a table with plates of food, and it was just this tag, "Come to the table." Great marketing thing, right?
Yeah.
And in that moment, I realized that there were no tables seemed to be available, and then the chair was pulled out.
Wow.
Right. So I'm just gonna leave that there as kind of because I don't want to take away too much from the song, but you'll hear it. So anyway, all that to say, there were a lot of stories wrapped up in that song,
including that voice you were talking about.
What's that?
The little voice in your head you were talking about.
Oh, the little voice. Yeah, the little voice. And
take us out with it, brother.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah. Yes. So you're gonna hear
everybody sings along when you see Cheyne and Lacey. Everybody sings along with it. You can't help but singing along.
Yeah, absolutely. And as like I said, as we've talked about this song, Lacey and I, we've this has really spoken to some people in terms of mental health and recovery and stuff. And so I just want to make that comment too. All right, so here we go. Day I was feeling tired. My friend called me on the phone. Caught me in my sweats lying down on the couch, thinking, just leave me alone. He said, a dream's not meant to stay on the ground. The world don't know you the way I do. So why don't you come out tonight with me? Your seats at the table, calling for you. A voice deep inside said there's no better time. I chose to get dressed to the nines. Boy, I picked a good night, picked a good night, picked a good night to be invited. Yeah, I picked a good night, picked a good night, picked a good night to be invited. He said, throw their opinions 3 sheets to the wind. Their words don't rule this town. Oh, I looked good, I felt good with the pressure off. Nothing weighing me down. The for me. Right as I got out of my car, all the fun to be had caught me by surprise. Just taking it all in was hard. Boy, I picked a good night, picked a good night, picked a good night to be invited. Yeah, I picked a good night, picked a good night, picked a good night to be invited. The voice spoke again, see you weren't such a mess. You said no to fear and goodbye to stress. The instant you gave your yes, I picked a good night, picked a good night, picked a good night to be invited. Yeah, I picked a good night, picked a good night, picked a good night to be invited. I picked a good night, picked a good night, picked a good night to be invited. Yeah, I picked a good night, picked a good night, I picked a good night to be invited. Was a good night. I picked a good night. Picked a good night to be invited.
Classic ending, too. Oh, man. Cheyne Stilwell has been our guest on the Songwriter Connection. Where can folks connect with you?
You can catch me on socials at therealshanestilwell.com, and I'll spell that out one more time. So the real, like real authentic, the real, CheyneStilwell. So you can catch me on Instagram there. I have some bio links in there, including my Linktree page.
Great.
Where you can catch, you can go back and listen to Cherubim, which is out there, again, as you said,
And this one
as
you
well
just-
as well as this one, Picked a Good Night. This is out on all the platforms wherever you listen to music. As long and also if you want to help a brother out with some crowdfunding for recording projects,
That'd be great.
I'm working to put some a pre-release material out there too for y'all to take a listen at. So
Great. Absolutely fantastic. We picked a good day to invite you.
thank you, sir. I
Thank you for
appreciate
being on.
being invited. Yeah, this has been great.
Thank you. Folks, thanks for listening. Right on. Catch you next week. Songwriter Connection.
We hope you enjoyed this intimate glimpse into the world of songwriting and found inspiration in the stories shared by our talented guests. Remember, the magic of music lies not only in the notes and chords, but in the emotions and experiences woven into every lyric. Until next time, keep listening, keep creating, and keep the melodies alive.